Hi everyone, welcome back to The Regular Runner. We're taking you out today on our Sunday long run. I would have liked to have brought you a park run this week. However, there were scenes of devastation yesterday. People frantically searching Facebook trying to find a park run that was actually on, because Storm Bert came in, dumped a load of snow on us and then froze for 2 nights in a row. And although it was much milder yesterday, all the parks apparently were full of ice. And I think there was one park run in the whole of Greater Manchester that went ahead. And by the time we knew which one it was too late for us to get there. So we had no chance. So instead yesterday we went down to the gym and we did I did a bit of a run on the treadmill. You started on the treadmill, didn't you? But then you stopped. She had a little bit of tightness in her foot. We really wanted to protect ourselves ready for today's run. The Sunday long run is a little bit of a more important run than a Saturday easy run. So you went on a recumbent bicycle instead, didn't you? Yeah. On the bike machines in the gym. How far did you do?
Just short of 7.8k.
So almost 8k on a bike in sort of 15-20 minutes, was it?
20 minutes.
And I decided to task myself with trying to do a virtual park run pacing. But I wanted it to be progressive, which is exactly not the way to pace a park run. I will put a quick screenshot of what the run was like and the pacing onto the screen so you can see it. Basically, I started slow and sped up and sped up and sped up and tried to finish in 30 minutes. So we'll take you on our long run now. I'm just going to do about 12k with a bit of a tempo session in the middle, and we'll catch up with you in a bit. Alright, so we're on the Kirklees Trail. It's about 3.5k up and then 3.5k back down. And then we're going to go and do another 4k or so afterwards. You ready? Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. So the plan today is we're going to run up this trail, which I say trail, it's obviously a lovely paved path, as you can see. It's actually, I think it's a former railway track. Certainly looks like that in places. So it's 3.5k, but it's mostly uphill in this direction. So we're just going to take this easy. Currently doing about just under 7 minutes a kilometre, so we'll probably stick at that as we go up the hill. And then when we turn around to come back down, put a bit more effort in, aim for sort of a tempo effort. And then afterwards we'll take you around and go and do some loops that we did in our last video for the 10x400.
Come out the way.
That's a proper stick, that. So as I said in the intro, Storm Bert caused all of the park runs in the area to be cancelled yesterday. So we went to go and do some work in the gym. I decided to make mine a bit of a progressive run. Partly because at first I had a bit of a tight calf. It's been quite an intensive week this week. So I decided to start easy and I gradually increased the pace by 0.2 of a kilometre every 200 metres. As long as it felt comfortable. Which, interestingly enough, felt comfortable all the way up to well over 12 kilometres an hour. And then in the last 500 metres I pushed on. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. I started using my stride pod on the treadmills now, and so pacing graphs are looking absolutely spot on. Actually detects pace changes, even for very small changes, which is great. I also feel like I learned a few things about my run yesterday, because I was steadily changing the pace all the way throughout the run. I could then see how my run dynamics changed at different paces. One thing I did find is that the faster I run, the more efficient I am. So I just need to get the fitness better. I just need to get the fitness better to be able to hold those faster paces, and I'll be covering the ground more efficiently, in theory. So I'll probably montage some of the rest of this run up the hill, and then we'll catch up with you when we're ready to start a tempo section coming back down again. There you go, that's the top. Right, so we've made it up the first part of the run, which is the uphill 3.5k of the Kirklees Trail. So the plan now, we're going to run back down, but we're going to try and pick the pace up a little bit. So we are going to have the hill helping us, so the benefit here isn't necessarily going to be cardio fitness, but both of our legs are pretty tired after this week's running. The benefit, I think, is going to be more a case of getting the legs turning over, getting us used to moving our legs at that speed, and just trying to hold it for the 3.5k back down. Once we get to the bottom, we're going to then take a bit of a detour round to where we did our 10x400 session in our last video. We're going to do a few laps of that at a nice easy pace, just to let the legs recover, and then we'll head back to the car. So just while we're having a quick moment here, we'll give you a quick update on our training for the last 2 weeks. So the 10x400 was recorded on the 12th of November, and today is the 24th of November, so it's been almost 2 weeks since we recorded that video. Since then we've done most of the rest of the week after that 10x400 was easy runs of various distances. We did a 10k easy run on the Thursday, so that was 2 days after that session. On the Saturday we went to Parkrun, and I paced at the 35 minutes, coming in 35 minutes and 4 seconds I think it was. I'll put the time up on the screen. So I did 35-minute park run, so really nice and easy and slow, and then we did a 12k all easy run on the treadmills on the Sunday. And then this week, I can't even remember what session we did on Tuesday. What did we do? So we did 4x800 at our target 5k pace, and then 4x200 at an equivalent 3k pace. So it was about 4:55 for the 800s per kilometre and about 4:45 for the 200s per kilometre, with 2k easy warm up, 2k cool down. And then I also did an 8k easy run the day after. Friday we took the day off because we were both tired. And yesterday, as I said, I did the virtual park run on the treadmills. You did some biking and a bit of running. And then we're on to today with our 12k easy, well, 12k long run with a threshold section in the middle. So that's our training so far. It's enough to say we're pretty tired. The training does catch up with you when you start ramping up the intensity and the volume. Next week is a bit of a recovery week, so the week is actually exactly the same as our first week in this plan. So there's lower mileage, a little bit lower intensity. It's just to get the legs recovered, because we're now coming into the part of the block we'll be running 5 times a week. So fingers crossed that goes well. The benefit of the 5 runs a week is that the extra run is actually one of the longer easy runs split into 2. So it's not that we're massively ramping up how much running we're doing, we're just dividing the runs up into 1 extra run per week, so we're not doing too much on each day. So I think we've recovered enough now. It's been a few minutes, so we're going to head back down the hill and we'll catch up with you when we get down to the easy section.
Yep.
See you in a bit. So we're currently on the downhill. Becky's having a tough day today. I think the constantly changing conditions of Storm Bert making her breathing suffer. So we're running when we can and we're walking when we need to. Although she says she's having a tough day, we're running 4:20 per kilometre at the moment, so she's doing well. I've got 1k to go in the threshold section. I'm going to try and pace us to 5 minutes for this k.
Oh, we've got the run. Is that what you're looking
I think she's been distracted by dogs. There she is, after being distracted by doggies. Okay. So, despite being distracted by a dog in the last day, we've now finished the tempo section. No idea what the pace was like because we were stopping and walking when we needed to. So we're now onto the easier part of the run. I say easier, we're already tired, so it's not necessarily going to be easy. But we're going to head round to the loop, which is about a mile that way. Do a couple of loops there, where we were training the other night. And then there's a Guinea-Laura pathway from that loop that'll take us back to where the car's parked, and we can call it a day. But yeah, I managed that last K despite this slight uphill section here in 4:45, and I was pushing up the hill at 4:30 per kilometre, so I think I did alright there, despite the fact being tired, and the calves are a little bit achy just from fatigue of the training this week. So ready for the easy bit?
I think so.
Alright, we'll see you around there. There we go. And speaking of what we have to thank Storm Bert for, that's the River Rail well in Bury at the moment. Very angry. Wouldn't want to fall in. And we are back to our training loop from the other night. In case anybody was wondering why there were so many police cars and sirens around, this building is the Great Manchester Police Headquarters in Bury. And also halfway around our workout in our last video, we've heard a load of sirens and we were sort of looking off over in that direction. Don't know if you can see, you might not be able to see, but there's an orange building over there, that's Bury's community fire station, and they were messing around with the sirens on the fire engines. So don't worry, we weren't running around in dangerous places in the middle of the night that were full of police crawling around everywhere. It's actually probably one of the safest places we could run because we're right next to a major police station with police cars driving around everywhere. So yeah, we just had a little bit of a walk. Becky's very tired, her legs are struggling, breathing struggling. So as I said earlier, we're running when we can, walking when we need to. We'll still get the mileage in today, but we're going to be sensible about it. Hopefully the weather holds up. It's been dry so far throughout this run. It is looking a little bit grey at the moment though, I must admit. So I won't show you this loop again, you've seen it before, but we're going to do a few laps of this loop. We're currently up to 8.5k, so I reckon 4 laps of this loop or so, and then a jog back to the car, and that should bring us more or less up to our mileage for this session. When we get back to the car, I'll give you a bit of an update on one of our other little fitness challenges that I've been doing. We've got a bit of a shout out to make actually about that one. So yeah, stick around to the end and we'll give you an update. There you go, there's the fire station I told you about. Very brightly coloured, you can't miss it. In fact, your top blends in with it. If you stood next to it, you disappear.
Purple shorts might stand out.
Yeah, purple shorts might stand out. We're back at the car now. We've cut the run short by 1 kilometre, so we've done 11k. It took us an hour and 25 minutes in total, but that's with pauses in the middle to stop and get the camera out and talk to you guys. You had a bit of a tough day today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Her legs are tired, she's suffering a little bit, and her breathing's been quite difficult, as I say, with the changing weather conditions. Just put my window up there because this car's coming past. Yeah, with the changing weather conditions, it's affecting her breathing, especially when we pick the pace up. She's getting tired a lot quicker than she does when the weather's a little bit more stable. That's the time of year, I guess. So yeah, we had a good little bit of tempo work in that run, even with some little walk breaks in between so that Becky could get her breath back. We still had a really good workout, but the important thing is that we got the mileage in today. We still did 11k, which is pretty good. Not our longest run in the world, but you know, we're in the middle of a 5k training block. The intensity is quite high on some of our workouts, and so we have to accept that the longest runs are not going to be the same kind of volume as what we would have done when we're in half marathon training. Other things that we're doing at the moment as well is we're doing a lot of activation work using rubber bands and Pilates balls. I'm still doing that to try and rehab my groin strain, which is getting better all the time. I have a little bit of a tenderness in the bottom part of my stomach, which from what I understand, there's 3 muscles that work together in your adductors, and if you strain one of them, that puts a little bit more stress on the other muscles. I strained my adductor longus, I think it is, and then the other muscles that help to compensate for that have taken a little bit more of the strain. But we're also doing some strengthening exercises as well, just to try and get our bodies more used to activating our glutes and activating our hamstrings, because it's something we're both guilty of, is that we've got lazy glutes and lazy hamstrings, and we tend to, or historically we've tended to be a lot more quad dominant in the way that we run, and I'm trying to fix that. To also contribute to that, thanks to Mark over at Sagstew the Jew, who I'll link his channel in the description. I've been inspired to take up a little bit of a planking challenge, so I'm trying to get to a 5-minute plank by Christmas. I've never trained planks before, at least not standard planks. I do have side planks prescribed to me by the physio, which again is partly to activate my glutes, where I have weaknesses that cause my knee to sort of come inwards as I run a little bit. So I do have side planks on my plan, but I've never trained standard 4-round planks, and so I've been trying to get better at those. Started a week ago, and I started by trying to just see what I could do, what my plank record was, and I managed to hold it for 2 minutes and 1 second, which already I think is a pretty good time. I think anything over a minute is considered pretty good, and 6 months ago I couldn't do that, so my side planks have obviously contributed. And then since then I've been doing planking intervals on a daily basis, so I've been doing 5 1-minute planks with 60 seconds recovery in between. And then I did another PB attempt yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And I managed 2 minutes and 41 seconds. So I've added 40 seconds onto my plank PB in a week. I've taken a rest today because I don't want to be doing this every single day. I want to make sure that I'm resting and recovering. And then what I'm going to do next week is I'm probably going to try and do 4 1-minute and 15-second planks. So that'll still come up to a total of 5 minutes, but it'll be in less intervals that will each be a little bit longer, and we'll see how we get on. I'll try and gradually reduce the amount of time I spend recovering and try and get up to that single 5-minute plank. You managed to hold a 2-minute plank without even thinking about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think she cheats though. She weighs half what I do. So yeah, that's the challenge, is try and get to a 5-minute plank by Christmas. So each week I'll give you a bit of an update on how I'm doing with that. And I think that's pretty much it for this today.
I think so.
Yeah. So fingers crossed Becky's feeling a little bit better next week. We do have a recovery week, as I said. It's a little bit less mileage, a little bit less intensity. Next week is the 5th week on our training plan out of 10, I think it is. And yeah, as I say, it's a recovery week so that we can make sure we're back to full strength before we go into the more intensive part of the block, where we'll be doing 5 runs a week. So fingers crossed all goes well, and fingers crossed Parkrun is actually on next weekend and that we don't get any more rogue storms cancelling it all. So have a good week of running, guys. Take care, especially if you're running in the night time. Make sure you be safe and be seen. We're not even running at night, and I chose the most orange t-shirt that I could find today. You chose the pinkest t-shirt you could find. So yes, be safe, be seen, and have a good week, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.